Proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Digicel. Cayman's bigger, better network.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the Record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the Record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees so fair. Today is Wednesday, the 30th day of August, 2023, right here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, we urge you to please be extremely cautious. Remember to observe the rules of the road. If you do so, the life you save may be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that the memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. And to remind you that this segment of the For the Record birthday shoutouts proudly brought to you by Pizza Boat. Pizza Boat, they are now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. So, folks, hop on board the Pizza Boat Express. Pizza Boat makes pizza even more fun. You can pick up or you can have your pizza delivered. Simply call 949-0000 or order online via www.pizzaboat.ky. So let's quickly look at the birthdays that are being celebrated today. We see coming to you live and direct. Darlene Robinson celebrating a birthday today. Also, Aloni Bernard celebrating a birthday today as well. So Darlene Robinson, Aloni Bernard. And yesterday, we saw Kathy Sparks Colonel celebrating her birthday, as well as Mr. Ronnie Anglin. If you probably have noticed that I have abbreviated my opening comments because we do have guests in the studio. A little late start this morning because, again, we had additional announcements to be made this morning. So it is my pleasure to have in the studio with me none other than the Registrar at the Lands and Survey Department, Ms. Sophia Williams, and the Director of the Department of Lands and Survey, Mr. Obi.
Good morning,
Uche.
sir.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to For the Record. And we're going to be talking about something very important that is happening, within government. I remember, this would have been in the late 1990s, possibly early 2000s. We had a customer appreciation day over at the Immigration Department. We had music, we had food outside and everything else. And I believe those days, it was the seat of government was located in the old glass house over there. And I figured that people were probably looking across the street and saying, what kind of madness is going on over there at the immigration department? But we thought it was extremely important to have a customer appreciation day. And it is good to see that there are more government departments now doing that as well. But that's all I'll have to say about it. I'm going to have you tell our folks exactly what's going on.
Okay. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. O.C. Thank you for accommodating us once again. And thank you for supporting us throughout the last few months where we've been celebrating our 50th anniversary. So I just want to recap of what activities that we have had in the last few months.
Yes.
And then after the break, we talk specifically about the Customer Appreciation Day. So it was our 50th anniversary last year, but we postponed the celebration to this year due to COVID and several other reasons. And the 50th anniversary has given us an opportunity just to celebrate the founding members of the department, as well as staff who've worked for the department over the last few years, because we strongly feel that the department has been the foundation on which the economy of the Cayman Island has been built, because the department is able to guarantee title on property. People are able to go and get credit for property. Developers are able to get financing to do the developments, and it's been really a catalyst for the economy going forward. So we want to celebrate the founding members for creating that foundation, and also show our gratitude to the public for the support over the last 50 years. And we started that by having several town hall meetings. Because we're taking a service to the public, saying this is what we do, this is how we do it, and if you have any questions. We started in Cayman Brac, went to Eastern, Northside, Bordentown, Savannah, and Georgetown, and ended up in West Bay with the last one in July. And it was very, very good, because we had an opportunity to sort of provide our service, tell people what we do, because there's a misconception sometimes about what Lands and Service is about. Sometimes it confuses us with planning, and I've had that several times asking us questions about planning, which sort of I have no clue about. Also, we had the Cabinet grant waivers on stamp duties and rectifications. And the reason why we chose that was that we found out that there were several times we sent out notices to members of the public and they were not receiving them. Either the names were incorrect or the addresses were incorrect, or lots and lots of reasons. So we decided this is an opportunity for us to get our records correct. Because if our records are correct, then it means that there's less headache dealing with members of the public and all that. So Cabinet granted a waiver of stamp duty and rectification for 90 days from the 2nd of May, and it expired on the 30th of July. During that period, we received 705 requests for rectifications from members of the public coming to our office and in the town hall meetings. Just compare that to the same period where we received only 201 rectifications in the same period in July of last year.
Okay.
And for the first 6 months of the 3 months of the year, from January to April, we only received 166. So it was a tremendous success, because we had lots and lots of people coming forward. And we just want to take this opportunity just to thank the members of the public for taking advantage of this initiative, and the Cabinet for approving these facilities to the customers. People have asked, is it going to happen again? We don't know. We'll see how things go, but it's quite possible that it might happen again, because it's important that we have the correct records and correct addresses, because it just reduces the headache that we have when dealing with customers. So yeah, that's where we are. And then tomorrow we will be having our Customer Appreciation Day. And I'm just going to bring in Sophia just to add anything she has to add on the rectifications, and then we can talk about the customer appreciation after the break.
Okay, bring that mic a little closer to you, Ms. Williams.
Okay, great. Thank you. As Uche said, we're celebrating 50 golden years of service, trust, and commitment. And really, we've looked back at the foundation that has been built, and from manual paper entries using typewriters to the vast technology that we employ today, it really has just allowed us to serve the community much faster, more efficiently, and with utmost accuracy. So we really want to say, so this was one of the main reasons why we did the rectifications, which, as Uche said, the importance of getting it right, getting your names, getting your address right, and it was a tremendous success. So we're continuing with other activities, and we are going to be doing, there's a lot of things that's going on, and we really wanted, over the years, I think we've been, I would like to say, silent witness to countless property dreams that are realized, you know, businesses established, legacies that have been built, and we want to celebrate with the public the trust that they placed in us to have achieved all of that. So what we want to do is we are going to take the opportunity to say thank you, and most importantly, we just really want to say thank you to all the residents of the Cayman Islands, all our partners, our team members who have been a part of this journey, and to say, hey, this is to the next 50 years of innovation, service, and excellence.
Excellent. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, the discussion with Ms. Sophia Williams and Mr. Uche Obi from the Department of Lands and Survey. Mr. Obi, he is the Director of Lands and Survey, and Ms. Williams, she is the Registrar, and talking about the results of the public engagement that they had, very successful results as well, and of course the upcoming Customer Appreciation Day as well. So don't change that dial, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series. Brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Mary Catherine Bodden, 1910 to 1994.
Mary Catherine Bodden, nee Eden, attended school at Caswell, taught by Mrs. Nora Dilbert, nee Watler. She was a loving, caring mother of 4 children. She was a member of the Presbyterian Church from 1925 and served as choir director, organist, Sunday school teacher, and founding member of Women's Guild at Savannah. She traveled to the various districts conducting services for the Guild and took care of the preparation of Holy Communion for years. She was an active and influential cornerstone of both her church and her family. She was the mother of Cayman's first national hero, James Manoa Bodden.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Through the Rotary Club of Cayman Brac, on behalf of the District Governor David Kirkcaldy, we, Rotary Central, the Rotary Clubs of the Cayman Islands and the Lions Clubs community, join our sister islands, Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, pausing to pay our respects to salute the passing of a citizen of note. This humble, gentle, genteel man of committed determination toward good. This engineer, photographer, Morse code and wireless operator, pioneer in the development of Cayman telecommunications, devout Christian, church elder, entrepreneur, patriarch of Tibbetts Enterprises at Cotton Tree Bay, pillar of Sister Island social and business development, a storyteller, Brac historian, D. Bernard Tibbetts, Mr. Bernard, this man of Caymanite resolve, this giant now rests. Our heartfelt condolences to Miss Vernice, James, Jonathan, Paul, Matthew, the Tibbetts family, and our Sister Islands community. Mr. Bernard, you have left this path much better than you found it. Rest in peace.
Introducing Digicell's all-new prepaid plans. Packed with more any-use data than ever before. Entertainment data for the apps you love, like Netflix, Spotify, YouTube, and TikTok. Plus, endless social data for Snapchat, WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So you're always in the know. Stay connected. Stay entertained with Digicell's new prepaid plans. Activate in the My Digicel app today. Digicel, better connected.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
This is it, Cayman, the last week of the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. If you have been chosen for the survey, please complete Step 3 by September 3rd. Your participation is essential for the future of our nation. Help us shape Cayman's healthcare services and say yes to Step 3. To book your appointment or for more information, call 936-4969.
Stop kicking that old washer or dryer and stressing out. Brand Source Home Gallery is having an August laundry sale. Save up to 15% on all brands. That's right, save up to 15% on GE, Samsung, LG, Beko, Frigidaire, Electrolux, and even heavy-duty commercial washers and dryers, both gas and electric. Shop Brand Source Home Gallery in August and find the island's largest selection of washers and dryers and save during the August laundry sale. Visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
All aboard the Pizza Boat! Cayman's newest pizzeria. Birthday parties, office luncheons, summer camps, game night. Whatever your occasion, bring the fun with Pizza Boat. A Cayman twist to pizza. Bringing fusion ingredients from all over the globe to give you locally inspired fresh pizzas all day, every day. What's more, now you can enjoy a boat-shaped pizza with toppings of your choice. It's Pizza Boat. Pizza Boat, now open in Queens Court on West Bay Road. Pick up or delivery 949-0000 or order online www.pizzaboat.ky. Pizza Boat. Experience the ultimate pizza voyage.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me this morning representatives from the Lands and Survey Department, Miss Sophia Williams, no stranger to Radio Cayman and For the Record, and Mr. Uche Obi, who is the Director of the Lands and Survey Department. We're talking about their upcoming Customer Appreciation Day. Just before that, I want to give a quick happy birthday greetings going out to Mr. Jose Webster, and they're coming from his aunt, Miss Lucille Seymour, as well. So, Mr. Jose Webster, happy birthday to you today. So, you have spoken about your, all of your stakeholders, your customers, and everything. Yeah. And we know how government works, and probably if you were another department, but I'm sure that one of your the bigger stakeholders would be real estate companies, realtors as well. And it would have been nice, I don't know, maybe I hope I'm not letting a cat out of the bag, but some of them should be putting up some nice prizes and surprises and have some nice raffles and stuff like that tomorrow, because the real estate companies, those agents, they have done well in the Cayman Islands, and what better way to show their appreciation in terms, and I'm sure that whatever you do in the Lands and Survey Department, you're not favoring anyone at all, you're treating all customers equally as well, so it couldn't be seen as, being given any favors, but if they're listening in, not too late for you to make some sort of offer, or on maybe some other occasion as well, participate in the Customer Appreciation Day and, put out something out there. And maybe even government, we have those, what is it called? lands for public purpose,
LPP,
LPPs or whatever. Maybe throw one of those into a raffle or something like that as well. Just some ideas, folks. But back over to you. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. So tomorrow we will be celebrating the customer appreciation. And the reason why we're having this event is we want to say thank you to the members of the public for their support over the last 50 years. And it gives us an opportunity once again to interact with members. And the idea is from 10 to 3 at the government administration building on the ground floor by our counter. We invite the members of the public to join us. During this, we will provide information on the services that we provide, and some food and some giveaways and some music. I don't want to step on Sophia's toes because she's one of the organizers. So I'll pass the mic on to her and she'll provide more details on what it's all about.
Okay, and I'm going to interrupt just to say we got a late start. Dr. Macfield is going to be coming in after the 8 o'clock news, but I'm going to ask you, if you can, to stay, for at least an extra 15 minutes so we can ensure that we cover everything that you want to cover. And we do have one question from one of our listeners as well.
Okay.
So, Ms. Williams.
Great, thank you again. So we're celebrating the 50th anniversary, as we've been discussing this morning. It's a promise of transparency, fairness, and trust Lands and Survey is not just another government department. So what we are wanting to do is we're having our Customer Appreciation Day tomorrow as a thank you for the unwavering trust and support over the years. We believe that in the power of community, and it's a reflection of just our way to say thank you. So here is a few activities that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing some map demonstrations. So if you've ever wondered about the intricate processes of land mapping, it's really great. There are lots of times public have to interact with us if you have a planning application and the planning department needs to serve notice on your neighbors for applications that are submitted. Sometimes you will be asked to come to Lands and Survey to get buffer maps. We'll be able to explain all of that to you. Elevation map, digital maps, your architects, persons need to produce these for other government departments. Aerial photos, for example, if you want, let us say, for example, you want to put up a healthcare facility or a daycare, you may need to show the neighborhood and the area to relevant government departments. So you will be able to get a chance to get a behind the scenes look at how we charter our lands. You're going to see the technology. We'll take you through our processes. It's also a great time to interact with some of the staff of Lands and Survey. So there'll be a lot of our staffs are going to be rotating throughout the day. And it's really good sometimes to put a face to a name. A lot of persons call and interact with us, but they don't know who, or they can't put a face to a name. So it's a great time to come to and meet us. We, as you said, what's Customer Appreciation Day without prizes and food, right? So there's some excitement in the air.
Well.
We have some fabulous prizes up for grabs.
Great.
Well, we did not ask anyone to contribute to our prizes because we're, as I said, when I started out, we said we're about transparency and fairness. And we really wanted to make sure that we are showing to the public that we're about, it's about transparency and fairness. So we decided that we're going to be doing this ourselves, but still some fabulous prizes. So we just want you to persons to participate. You may just walk away with something absolutely special. So keep an eye up. We're going to have spin the wheel every hour. There are surprises waiting at every corner, really. And of course, there is no celebration complete without some delicious food. So as a small token of our appreciation of your trust, we have a menu that mirrors the diversity and the richness of our community. So please, we're asking you to come out and enjoy. And, it's a day that is going to be, I think, even from a government department, crafted with love, with appreciation and a passion for serving. So we are hoping that you'll be able to come out and join us on Thursday, starting tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Yeah. Excellent. We're going to go to our 8 o'clock news. Do I have 30 seconds that I can say something with Susan before? I know that for the record, on many occasions you have described and explained the importance of having accurate information. And while we know because of security reasons and everything else, it may not be possible for people to take a tour of what actually takes place and to see what happens, because we know that you do have your counter downstairs and then you have your offices upstairs. And sometimes you will go there and they will say, well, we're waiting, for upstairs to go through everything to approve it. But again, to show people why it is so important to get the proper information to ensure that they receive their paperwork in a timely manner to avoid delays and everything else. And maybe I'm not sure if you have any way of projecting that to the public tomorrow as well, but we'll talk more about that when we return. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Thank you, Mr. Connor. And studio time now by Foster's is 2 minutes past 8.
Class, pay attention. School is back in session, and it's time to get back to school ready with Foster's.
Foster's is embracing school spirit with all the essentials like backpacks, stationery, lunch kits, and more.
And online, treat yourself to our useful back-to-school lunch ideas at livewell.fosters.ky to turn fresh and healthy into full and focused.
And any parents hoping to spend more time at home, there's always fresh delivery from Foster's Go.
Think you got all of that? We'll test you on it later.
Get ready for a great fresh start with Foster's.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fulder. The eye of Hurricane Idalia is moving just inland from the Florida Big Bend coast. Maximum sustained winds are estimated near 120 miles per hour with higher gusts. It's now a Category 3 hurricane on the wind scale. Although the storm will weaken further now that the center's inland, it's likely to still be a hurricane while moving across southern Florida and near the coast of Georgia or southern South Carolina later today. Caymanian University of South Florida junior Ryan Frick is one of a number of students affected by the storm. He just got back to university a week ago and was settling into his first full week of classes when news came.
They closed down majority of the facilities, excluding like the dorms, so that way people could stay in them. And they sent out a bunch of resources for people to use to help find shelter and prepare and get supplies.
Instead of sticking out the storm in a dorm, Ryan made other plans.
I moved in with a friend of mine off campus, and I helped him board up the windows as well as get a few things like water and sandbags to help mitigate the flooding in the event that the storm hits us harder than we thought.
The student adds that other than heavy traffic on Tuesday, people seem pretty calm overall about the incoming storm. And an unapproved quarry expansion by Scott's Development in Weston, Cayman Brac, is reviewed by the National Conservation Council.
The quarry is very close to Saltwater Pond Trail, which is the trail that runs along the eastern end of the quarry. And when there is blasting at the quarry, there's fly rock that impacts the trail, and so it's often closed to the public when they are quarrying.
Department of Environment's Lauren Dombowski told the National Conservation Council the quarry's fly rock is visibly affecting the trail, with rocks damaging the boardwalk and a potential safety and human life risk coming from fly rock produced during blasting at the quarry.
Given that Saltwater Pond Trail is a tourist amenity and the boardwalk was put in with district administration funds, and it's highlighted on a lot of promotional material for the BRAC, this is a major amenity impact. It affects your perception of the trail if when you're walking by, you're looking into an active quarry.
She told members, although a proposed expansion application by developers being sought from planning has not yet been approved, the company is, quote, proceeding anyway.
We've recommended that the Development Control Board secure a dust management plan and require a noise assessment to evaluate the levels of noise. And the DCB would need to take into consideration the serious adverse impacts occurring to the trail.
The NCC considered the matter during their most recent meeting and voted in support of the Department of Environment's recommendations. Now with the check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News. Army officers in Gabon say President Ali Bongo is under house arrest and is to be replaced by the head of the Presidential Guard. Earlier, the soldiers announced they had dissolved state institutions, closed Gabon's borders and annulled the results of Saturday's election. France has condemned the events and called for the election result to be respected. It's the latest in a series of military takeovers in West and Central Africa, most of them in former French colonies. A powerful storm has just made landfall on America's southeast coast. Officials have warned of a storm surge that could reach almost 5 metres and destructive, life-threatening winds as Hurricane Idalia roars into Florida. Forecasters say Idalia still has the potential to cause catastrophic damage. Washington's Commerce Secretary has warned Beijing that U.S. business patience is running thin. On a visit to Shanghai, Gina Raimondo said U.S. companies needed reciprocity with access to China. Former senior security officials in Israel have called for the cancellation of a commission of inquiry into the use of spyware in criminal investigations. The former head of Shin Bet argues that an inquiry could damage national security. Rights groups say a former member of the Belarus Special Security Forces will stand trial in Switzerland, accused of involvement in the disappearance of 3 Belarusian opposition supporters. Yuri Garavsky now lives in Switzerland as a political exile. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Are you tired of waiting in long lines at the pharmacy just to fill a prescription?
If what, child, let me tell you.
Well, now you can save time and money with ValueMed's online prescription service. Visit ValueMed's new website, valrx.com, and click the Refill Subscriptions button. Fill in your information and choose your preferred pickup location. Or email your prescription refills for ValueMed Walkers Road at rx-wr@valrx.com, and for ValueMed in Boddentown, email rx-bt@valrx.com. Say goodbye to the hassle of waiting in lines and hello to the convenience of online prescriptions with ValueMed Pharmacy. Visit valrx.com to place your orders today.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Honey, did you get your Benzorama ticket yet?
Benzorama what?
The Lions Club Benzorama fundraiser. You could win a brand new Mercedes-Benz.
What? I have always wanted a Mercedes. What kind of Benz?
A brand new sparkling 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLA 200. Tickets are $25 for 1, 3 for $65, or 5 for $100. And you're helping to support the many Lions Club of Grand Cayman causes.
Driving in my new Benz and feeling good about helping the community.
The Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzorama fundraiser. Your chance to win a 2023 Mercedes-Benz GLA 200. Benzorama fundraiser tickets are available from Lions Club members and various sales outlets. The Lions Club of Grand Cayman Benzorama fundraiser supports numerous community initiatives, includes site screening, Christmas deliveries, restoration, and social services.
Attention, all local artisans and especially vendors in the Cayman Islands. Are you looking for an opportunity to showcase and sell your unique creations? Join the Cayman Islands National Museum on Tuesday, 5th September for their first ever local vendor showcase. This is your chance to share your local products and promote your business. Whether you specialize in local handmade crafts, jewelry, artwork, or any other specialty products, the Cayman Islands National Museum welcomes you to be a part of this incredible event. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity to showcase your craftsmanship and make meaningful connections. Join the National Museum Local Vendor Showcase and let your creativity shine. Mark your calendars for Tuesday, 5th September and get ready to present your products. For more information and to reserve your spot, email giftshop@museum.ky. Showcase your incredible creations at the Cayman Islands National Museum Local Vendor Showcase on Tuesday, 5th September.
Tune in every Monday through Friday at 12 p.m. for Radio Cayman's Midday Newscast. Radio Cayman, the People's Station, your trusted official source for the latest news. The 12 p.m. news is proudly brought to you by Health City Cayman Islands. World-class healthcare within your reach.
Who will be the new queen? Miss Universe Cayman Islands will crown a new queen Saturday, September 2nd at the Westin Cayman Resort. Witness 5 stunning contestants as they hit the stage to become your national queen at the Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2023 competition finals and coronation. Be in the audience of this fabulous gala while being streamed live on the Miss Universe platform. 5 beautiful ladies, 1 crown on 1 fabulous night. Get your tickets at eventpro.ky or Funky Monkey at Governor Square. Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2023, Saturday, September 2nd at the Westin Cayman Resort. You don't want to miss it.
Hurricane season can be unpredictable, but your business doesn't have to be. In the face of adversity, you need a partner that goes above and beyond. Choose the path of resilience and certainty with C&W Business. Through disaster recovery as a strategy solution, C&W Business will safeguard your critical data, maintain seamless communication channels, and help you bounce back faster than ever before. Visit our website, cwcbusiness.com/myopenbusiness to learn more. Remember, a safe business is an open business.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning. Let's take a look at the latest weather report. Current temperature is 85 degrees. Relative humidity is 87%. The barometric pressure, 1012.4 millibars. The wind is south at 6 knots. Overnight low temperature was 80 degrees. Synopsis indicate moderate southeasterly winds and seas with a decrease in showers are expected across the Cayman area for the next 24 hours. As Hurricane Idalia has made landfall and it's moving just inland from the Florida Big Bend coast. The National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida is issuing advisories on Hurricane Idalia, which at last check was located at 29.9 north, 83.5 west, is moving north-northeast at 18 miles per hour with a maximum sustained winds of 120 miles per hour. The Cayman Islands National Weather Service will continue to monitor the system. This system poses no threat to the Cayman Islands. For further details, you can always visit www.nhc.noaa.gov. Now, the forecast for the Cayman Islands is calling for today partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s. Winds will be south to southeast 10 to 15 knots with higher gusts, and seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Forecast for tonight calling for partly cloudy skies with a 40% chance of showers. Temperatures falling to the mid-70s tonight. Winds will be southeast at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be moderate with wave heights of 3 to 5 feet. Today's high tide will occur this morning at 8:40, low tide this afternoon at 2:54, and a high tide again tonight at 9:14. The sun will set this evening at 6:40 and will rise tomorrow morning at 11 minutes past 6. And the outlook is calling for an increase in showers from Friday morning as a tropical wave currently over the eastern Caribbean is expected to move over the Cayman area. That's the very latest on your weather report.
Takes an
advice from your Aunt Angie. Don't lie on your resume. Because if you say you've got trapeze experience, someone might shoot you out of a cannon and expect you to do a gymnast routine while flying through the air at 82 miles an hour. And just because you want to land on your feet doesn't mean you will. But if you're smart, you'll have CG medical insurance, so you get the best coverage for the price.
Get the best coverage for the price. CG Brit-K. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Brit-K, where people come first.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. There's no great success without commitment.
As motivational speaker Tony Robbins said, individuals who succeed have a belief in the power of commitment. If there's a single belief that seems almost inseparable from success, it's that there's no great success without commitment. If you look at successful people in any field, you'll find they're not necessarily the best and the brightest, the fastest and the strongest. You'll find they're the ones with the most commitment.
Change your thinking, change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. Encourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Hey, good morning. Let's take a look at traffic. Traffic is heavy coming off of the Esteli-Tibbetts Highway. Slight delays expected. As we look to Industrial Park area, moving on moderately. Steady but flowing traffic on North Sound Road. Coming off of Bobby Thompson Road, steady traffic and continuing on, of course, on Huldah Avenue. And off of Agnes Way, traffic is moving on moderately. Steady traffic heading to Georgetown on Crew Road, and eastbound traffic on Crew Road is moving on pretty good. And from the West Bay four-way stop as well. Light traffic on Owen Roberts Drive. Linford Pearson Highway, traffic is stop and go. Slight delays expected there as well. Godfrey Nixon Way and Eastern Avenue flowing moderately. Into Georgetown on Shedden Road looking pretty good. Out of Georgetown on Shedden Road, light to moderate traffic flow. And that's what's happening on your roads. Join us again at about 10 minutes after 12 o'clock. We'll give you another traffic report. Remember, click it or ticket.
It's game time, Subway fans. We're upping our sub game with the all-new Subway Series menu, an all-star lineup of 6 delicious recipes. Just order by name or number and we'll do the rest. Whether you're catching a quick lunch or just need a tasty victory, the Subway Series menu is coming in clutch. Subway Series, easy to order, hard to resist. Try it today, only at Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe Cafe con Leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
It's celebration time, Cayman Brac. Water Authority Cayman is celebrating 40 years, and you are invited to our Customer Appreciation Day in Cayman Brac on Friday, September 8th from 1 p.m. until 3 p.m. at the Cayman Brac Beach Resort, 383 Channel Road. Please join us in celebrating our customers. There will be food, drinks, giveaways, raffles, and music. 40 years. Water Authority Cayman, suppliers of the world's most popular drink.
Excuse me, I noticed you from afar.
Really? Me?
Well, not you. The KFC sandwich you're eating?
Oh, Zinger.
Sorry, I'm not trying to be funny.
No, it's called the Zinger sandwich. Crunchy, juicy, 100% chicken breast, crisp lettuce, sweet mayo on a seeded bun with a little zing. KFC's chicken is not factory breaded, frozen and refried like the Burger Boys. Customize your KFC Zinger and dip it in barbecue sauce.
Wow, now I'm starting to notice you too.
KFC, it's finger licking good.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me this morning, we have representatives from the Lands and Survey Department, Miss Sophia Williams, who's the registrar at the Lands and Survey Department, and Mr. Uche Obi, who's the director of the Lands and Survey Department. So, folks, we have one question before we, again, talk about your Customer Appreciation Day tomorrow. And for those of you who are just joining us, they also rehashed the results of their customer...
the waiver of registration for the rectification,
right,
which
and
is
the district
amendments to the land register,
right,
yeah.
And the district meetings that you had, the interaction with your customers as well, which turned out to be extremely successful. Yeah. So, Mr. Uche spoke about that as well. So, one of our listeners has asked the question. Whether or not someone can get access to their property when the register shows that they have a vehicular right of access, but there is no roadway that exists on the ground. So they have the access, it's indicated on the map, but there's no road on the ground.
Yeah, unfortunately, they'd have to build the road to get access into their property. And sometimes what they can do is, let's say the access benefits several landowners. They can get together with the different landowners and decide to build the access. Government can't step in and build the access because it's on a private road.
Yeah. And can you speak to how that access comes about in the first place when it is recorded in the map? That is based on the landowners at some stage agreeing that there will be a road access, or can the government say, well, this has to be a road access? How is that done?
So some of them come from adjudication, which have existed even before the land was registered. And then some of them come when the parcel is split or subdivided. So in order to get to a parcel at the back, they might grant access to all the other parcels that abut the road so that they get access to the back. But, I mean, Sophia's, that's more her expertise, because as Registrar of Lands, she registers the rights of way and the easements and all that, so...
Oh, so
if you have anything to
which
add.
is correct. So, like, some of them came about by adjudication records, which is long existing easements that were established at the time when they did adjudication in the 1970s. A lot of it come about by grants of easement, and that is a right of way that's formally recognized by one for one party granting access to the other party. And speaking of construction, usually sometimes your easement deed may specify who is responsible for construction.
Okay.
It may also specify who is responsible for maintenance. And it usually is a party in most instances, and it's not a broad brush, but in most instances, a party who is benefiting from the right of way may bear the cost of, for example, the construction. And as Uche said, so it's common practice as well that if there are multiple persons who benefit, that they would split the costs. And they may split the cost of the right of way, the responsibility for maintenance. So and I just want persons to know there's a difference between maintenance, there's a difference between construction of the right of way. It's crucial to differentiate. While one party may be responsible for construction, another party could be responsible for maintenance. So, and in those cases, usually the party, and this is just common practice, the party who is benefiting may be liable for construction. And of course, if there are disputes regarding these issues, that is a matter that is going to have to be referred, that you may have to refer to the court. So we would recommend that you get legal advice, but for the registry would not be able to adjudicate on that.
Okay. Have one more question before we talk about your Customer Appreciation Day as well. And this person wanted to know whether or not there's any process for arbitration within the Lands and Survey Department when there are disputes, or whether or not everything has to be handled by the courts.
There is a process for hearings, but that is in certain circumstances. So the courts have settled the powers of the registrar quite clearly. So usually what the courts have said, and I'm trying to be in layman's English, that they wouldn't entrust such wide powers to make adjudication on your rights, which is protected under the Bill of Rights, your right to property, in an official sitting alone in a government office. So there are certain things that the registrar can do. So, for example, if you have boundary disputes, when a survey is being done, then you can ask, there's a process that we will go through to have a hearing, and we will make a determination of what we think the boundaries are. And the persons are given a time within which, if they're dissatisfied with that decision, to appeal to the Grand Court. There are other disputes that can come before the registrar if you're claiming an interest, for example, in a purchase agreement, and there are disputes whether or not that contract is at an end. Persons are able to, for example, lodge what we call a caution, which is just to say, I have an interest in this property, and it's just notice to the world that you may have an interest. So the other party may come, for example, the owner may come to us and say, no, this agreement is at an end. Could you please remove it? We will serve notice. We will say that we're going to remove it, give you a time within which to respond, and then we can have a hearing on that matter to determine whether or not you may have an interest. And at that point as well, then you can at that point, if you're dissatisfied with any decision that the registrar makes, is subject to appeal of the Grand Court. What the registrar cannot do, for example, is say that you have an interest in property. So that is determined for a judge of the Grand Court and a court with competent jurisdictions.
So that's like a finding of fact.
Yes. So findings of fact is not the duty of the registrar. So the powers of amendments are quite clear. If we have consent of the parties, as long as it's nothing that is materially affecting the interests of a registered owner, the registrar has certain powers, but it's not judicial powers. It's not a judge of the Grand Court at all. So we are guided by those by the cases that have gone before the Grand Court.
Okay, so let's talk about the big day tomorrow as well, and want to remind those realtors out there, you make a whole lot of money selling property in the Cayman Islands. So at least show up for the customer appreciation, maybe bring a surprise, a party gift along with you as well, and drop it into the pool.
So tomorrow we will be celebrating our 50th anniversary again, this time a Customer Appreciation Day. It will start at 10 and finish at 3. And you don't have to come from 10 to 3. You can come anytime between 10 and 3 and join us, get some information about the services that we provide, and not just land registry services, because we're going to have members from the different sections, valuation, finance, survey, GIS, there speaking to members of the public. There'll be lots of food, there'll be lots of giveaways, and there'll be music as well. We are getting the steel band. I think, Sophia, I forgot to mention this. We'll be having a steel band between 12 and 1.
Oh, yes. Yes, we're going to have some music as well. So we're expecting a steel band at 12 noon, and they will be entertaining our guests for 1 hour.
Great. Yes. Now, we know that you have been extremely innovative in the Lands and Survey Department. What can customers expect next in terms of enhancements and making life easier for everyone?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. What we're exploring at the moment is being able to use technology to make our goods and services accessible to members of the public. So we're looking at a few initiatives. At the moment, we've got a product called Cayman Land Info, which is heavily used by members in the real estate industry. The Cayman Land Info is a system where you get details of all the sales that have occurred in the island since 1996. It tells you the date of the sale, how much was paid, who paid it, and all the other details. It's being used by valuers, realtors, and it's it's the foundation of the work they do, because those sales comparables are used to determine what the value or how much to place the other property on the market when they're determining sale prices.
And you have to subscribe to be on that?
Yes, you have to subscribe to it at the moment. What we're exploring is the possibility of having a free service for members of the public, or a pay-as-you-go service, where you can have credit or use your credit cards and then have a service, use it at one time to find out that information. And we're relaunching the system. We're redesigning it, and we're redesigning the website. For the land registry, what we're doing at the moment is making our forms accessible. So you can fill the forms online and submit them online, and then you can track them at the moment. And Sophia, you're working on something. I don't want to take...
No.
We want to steal her thunder, right?
Yeah. We talked about what you were working about the access to land registry documents from the county instead of coming.
Yeah,
Remember
so
that?
we're working on making available to our customers the facility where they can request certified copies of registers, of instruments, of strata plans, of bylaws online without the need to come into the public counter. So you can do it at the comfort of your home at any time. It's a service that will be available 24/7, and we definitely will be launching this within the last quarter of this year.
Yeah.
So I think we're at 90% development. So we're going through testing phase now, and we certainly hope it will definitely be live before the end of 2023. And we are also in the process of reviewing our laws to facilitate electronic registration, which means that you can actually complete your form online, digitally sign them, and submit that to us. So we have been through an extensive consultation with the legal fraternity, and we have submitted some recommendations. Still has ways to go. There's a public consultation and debates that will take place around what we're proposing. But that is something that we're looking forward that will thrust us into the next 50 years for sure.
Great.
Yeah, and I think that's made all this possible is the fact that we now accept credit and debit cards. We started doing that in May, we should have started doing this much earlier, but we only started doing this in May. So what that means is that you can come and pay for the document and then receive it almost immediately. And because we started accepting debit and credit cards, you're able to request for the online forms and pay for it online and get it instantly. Excellent. Rather than having to come to Lands and Survey, the trip there, waiting in line to be served, and then I think that's going to be a game changer for the work we do.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Any final words from both of you?
We just say thank you to Radio Cayman. Each time I've sent you an email asking, can we come on the show? Short notice, you've accommodated us. So we just want to say a big thank you for accommodating us, for giving us the opportunity to talk about what we're doing. I think communication is key.
Certainly,
Just letting the members of the public know that we're there for them. We will answer your queries and we're providing the service. I'd say thank you. I think Sophia talked about the fact that we provide a lot of services, but we're not talking about them. We want to talk about what we're doing and interact as much as possible with the members of the public because they matter to what we do. So we just want to say thank you and look forward to seeing as many people as possible at the Customer Appreciation Day tomorrow.
Certainly. Ms. Williams?
And for me, I just want to say it's really, while I wasn't here in the adjudication process, I've seen photos of the persons when they just started in their little hats and using the typewriter. So really, it's really a celebration of the past 50 years, from humble beginnings to triumphant achievement. I think it's a story of resilience, innovation, and commitment. So I'm looking, as Uche says, we're looking forward to the persons celebrating with us tomorrow. We want to say thank you again for being an integral part of our 50-year saga, and on to the next chapter.
Excellent. Great. Staff at Radio Cayman, you can sneak over and get some of the snacks if you want as well. Well, I want to thank you so much for making yourselves available, always ready to answer sometimes the difficult questions as well, but to continue to keep your department in the forefront and letting people know. And we here at Radio Cayman, and in particular For the Record, we're open to entertain you at any point in time that you want to be on as well.
Thank you very much.
Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. When we return, we'll open up the phone lines. We'll have a chat with you as well, see what's going on. Dr. McFeel, hopefully he will make it. I know that he had something else later on this morning, but we look forward to having a conversation with him. Please stay tuned For the Record. We'll be back shortly.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Stop kicking that old washer or dryer and stressing out. Brand Source Home Gallery is having an August laundry sale. Save up to 15% on all brands. That's right, save up to 15% on GE, Samsung, LG, Beko, Frigidaire, Electrolux, and even heavy-duty commercial washers and dryers, both gas and electric. Shop Brand Source Home Gallery in August and find the island's largest selection of washers and dryers and save during the August laundry sale. Visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
Do you know that conditions may change suddenly in an emergency and you may have to leave at a moment's notice? When a hurricane threatens, you should have a grab-and-go survival kit. This kit should include your personal identification and other vital documents, which should be sealed in a watertight pouch or container. For more tips and information, visit the Hazard Management Cayman Islands office or caymanprepared.ky. This hurricane tip is brought to you by Hazard Management Cayman Islands and Radio Cayman 89.9 FM.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe traffic con Leche and Hollywood Squares for this old girl this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
The Cayman Islands Passport Office is now operating extended opening hours 3 days a week until the 7th of September. The new hours will provide the public with increased access while ensuring the efficient processing of applications. The Passport Office is open from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and will maintain normal office hours from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Mondays and Fridays. For more information, please visit www.gov.ky/passport-office.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. The phone lines are open. Want to remind you, our toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. Email us at fortherecord, one word, fortherecord at candw.ky. WhatsApp us, 925-3261, where you can send us a text message or leave us a voice note. We can also take calls from that number as well. And, of course, don't forget we are on Facebook as well. So let's see what's been happening in the Cayman Islands. We know yesterday that the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service put out a bulletin wanting to identify the victim of a water-related death in the Spots area that occurred on the 28th, I believe it was, of August. And I can share with you what they have now indicated with that. So here we go. Maybe I can, let's see if it, so, okay. So the first bulletin that they sent out, it's, says, following the water-related death at Spots Beach yesterday, the 28th of August, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service has been conducting inquiries to establish the identity of the deceased man. However, those inquiries have so far been unsuccessful. As such, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service is requesting the public's assistance in identifying the individual. He is described as being slim-built, weighing about 200 to 210 pounds, about 6 feet 1 inch in height. He is of brown complexion with brown low-cut hair and was wearing a pair of blue jeans with a black belt and a green T-shirt with the words Heineken at the time of the incident. The male also has an injury on his left thumb, which appears to be recent and requires stitches. And they went on to say then, if the description of the deceased fits the identity of anyone they know of who has any other information regarding the incident, persons are asked to contact the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. So then, yesterday now, they came back and they said an update on that this was, says the victim in the water-related death, which occurred yesterday, 20th of August, has now been positively identified by a family member. The man, aged 21, is a Jamaican national residing in the Cayman Islands, and the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service thanked the public for their assistance in this matter as well. So that was successfully resolved in terms of identifying the individual. And first of all, I'd like to extend our condolences to the family of the victim. But again, this demonstrates to you how cosmopolitan the Cayman Islands is getting. There was a time in the Cayman Islands when everybody knew everyone. And now we end up, with victims or either accidents or otherwise, and having difficulty identifying them as well. Challenging times, for the Cayman Islands. But again, we want to extend our sincere condolences to that family as well. Folks, was going to take a commercial break, but we won't at this point in time. So someone said that they saw something on Facebook that they identified him, and I did share that. What I wanted to do was to show the series of events that took place. So at one point in time, the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service, they were asking for anyone who could identify the victim, and then they came back and said later on then that the victim had been identified at that point in time. Now also, there were some persons who remarked, well, why isn't a photo put up of the victim? And some people on various social media platforms, some people agreed, yes, maybe a photograph should have been put up, and then some others thought that it may have been quite insensitive to do that, especially, to have then a family member see the photograph of the person's body being publicized, and just knowing then for the first time that their family member may have passed away as well. So, but again, just wanted to share that with you. Let's see if we have any other WhatsApp messages, any emails. I think I did pass on the fact that happy birthday greetings to Mr. Jose Webster, coming from his aunt, Miss Lucille Seymour as well. And I want to share something that Miss Lucille has shared with us as well, but we're going to take the commercial break. When we return, we'll share this with you. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctor's Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctor's Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
This is it, Cayman, the last week of the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. If you have been chosen for the survey, please complete Step 3 by September 3rd. Your participation is essential for the future of our nation. Help us shape Cayman's healthcare services and say yes to Step 3. To book your appointment or for more information, call 936-4969.
Back to school just got a whole lot more exciting with Digicel. Activate a Prime bundle or sign up for postpaid and you could win big. We're giving away $1,500 cash, plus Winner's Circle and office supply gift vouchers weekly. But wait, there's more. The grand prize of $5,000 goes to a local school of your choice, and you get a MacBook just for staying on any of our prepaid or postpaid plans. Stay connected, stay smart, and win with Digicel. Terms and conditions apply. Visit digicel.com for more details. Digicel. Better connected.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
Hey, we got to have love now.
Friends of Ja Mitch come out to support a special live music fundraiser at the Hartwell Theatre, Saturday, September 2nd from 7 to 11 p.m. Free admission for all, but donations welcome to support the recovery efforts for one of Cayman's legacy musicians, Ja Mitch. Performances by Swanky, 5th Division, Heat, Sugar Daddy, and the J.R. Douglas Band. Proudly sponsored by the Caymanian Times, Young Blood Productions, CNCF, Love Culture, Reflections, and Radio Cayman. The Friends of Ja Mitch live music fundraiser at the Hartwell Theatre. Free admission Saturday, September 2nd from 7 to 11 p.m.
Want to learn more about the Regen Environmental Impact Assessment Report? Don't miss the upcoming public consultations where you will have the opportunity to provide feedback on the draft environmental statement and have your questions answered. Join us from 6 to 9 p.m. on Monday, August 28th at the Hartwell Theatre, Tuesday, August 29th at John Gray Memorial Church Hall, or Wednesday, August 30th at Mary Miller Hall. To find out more, visit doe.ky or regen.ky.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. Remind you the phone lines are open. Toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. Email us for the record, one word, for the record at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261. You can also call us from that number. Follow us on YouTube. You subscribe to Radio Cayman live stream, and you can follow us on Facebook as well. So Miss Lucille has shared this with us, a tribute to Mr. Bernard Watler, the man that time will never forget, Bernard Watler. To be in his presence was an honor. His candidness itself enamored you to him, a truth teller of the real Cayman. But to really hear it, you must be gathered around him, lying in his hammock. Then the stories began. He told the truth about who we are, what we hid, and how we became true Caymanians. No one like him to bear the torch as the flames of who we are, what we were, who we are, what we were, slowly dim as he is now gone. She goes on to say, I admired this man who knew me well. We plan to meet again. Rest in peace, my dear friend. The honor was mine to have known you. And that's from Miss Lucille Seymour as well. Not sure how many of you have had the opportunity to see the video that was recorded by Lord Graham, Mr. Graham Rankin, at a gathering at Mr. Bernard's house a few weeks ago as well. And of course, none of us, when we were there, expected, to be now dealing with his passing, but we hope and we trust that you get an opportunity to see that, and then you will realize, we will all realize what we are going to be missing in terms of the oral history, in terms of the oral history of the Cayman Islands as well. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. Connor.
Good morning, Lord Graham. Those old people say your air bell must be ringing. I was just calling your name.
I'm home cooking.
Okay.
Group for lunch.
Yes, yes.
They'll be passing through later.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yeah.
You better watch out. They'll soon be checking you for trading business license.
But we're not trading. We're not trading because most of them, no one comes through the gate with anything. They just come and eat. But once they start bringing something and then they're getting food, then that's called trading.
Yeah, and you don't need a license, I don't believe, to barter. You give me something and I give you something.
Yeah, because if that were the case, we would all be locked up. Well, see, I heard the bulletin concerning asking for information to identify the deceased out there in spots.
Yeah, and of course he has been identified.
Yeah, I know he had been identified, but I think me and you might have had this conversation before concerning their fingerprint system. That
someone else shared that. Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
If we had that system in right then, they could have they could have forensically identify that individual. So I think it's about time that we implement that system. I think we already have purchased it, right? For a few $1 million or something?
Yes, that's been quite a while. Whether or not that particular system may be obsolete now is another question. Or it possibly could be upgraded as well. But of course, the issues about privacy and all of those things. But when we go into the United States, what do they do there? You go in there as a visitor?
I've been to countries in Central America where the fingerprint you going in
and coming
and
out,
the fingerprint you coming out. So they're not just interested in you coming in; they're also interested that you have left. You're the identical person that came in that are now leaving their country.
Yeah.
So they properly identify you going in and coming out. So I think us being this sophisticated society that we claim we are, I think we should, much sooner than later, implement that system, knowing that we have already purchased it. Because if you can take that amount of money, OC, and purchase something, you must have purchased it because you knew we needed it. And then for not implementing it, then I don't see nothing wrong with the Ministry of Culture donating a couple $1,000s to me to continue cooking on Wednesdays and call it a cultural thing, bringing Caymanians back together instead of just meeting at funerals. We can start meeting at my place, and I would say I don't know, maybe like 100,000 a year. You think that could buy some beef?
And we call it rename it Cayman Kitchen.
You're right. We could do that too.
Yeah.
You could cook a few your dishes and come and add to it, and we could go from there.
But you have to change the date so that I can be there. You always have it when I have my board meeting.
You go on and dissociate yourself from our gathering. I don't know whether that board that you on is productive or what.
Well, I'm trying to perform my civic duty by serving on the board, even though sometimes you wonder whether or not you making progress or if you going backwards. You get so frustrated as well, in terms of some of the things that you see happening to our beautiful Cayman Islands. And I'm going to talk about one of those after we return from the break as well, because we see people talking about the cost of living in the Cayman Islands. And we know now that if a couple, they're residing here and they have a child, they have to be making at least $3,500 per month, and then $500 for each. That is something that needs to be reviewed because, well, first of all, you know, how you go about verifying everything is fraught with, you know, with the loopholes where people can, you know, possibly falsify information. I'll tell you what, Lord Graham, we're going to go to our headline. You stay on the line, and you and I are going to sort of like talk about this a little bit. Folks, please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Continuing the Caymanian tradition.
Let Cora keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Let's spread the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
The Minimum Wage Advisory Committee is hosting a virtual town hall today from 1 until 2. It will provide another opportunity for the public to ask questions and learn more about the elements that will be considered in determining a potential new minimum wage for the Cayman Islands. Hurricane Idalia is nearing landfall in Florida with likely winds of 125 miles per hour and potentially life-threatening conditions. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis says 16 feet storm surges are expected in some areas as fierce winds push seawater inland. Some 30,000 personnel are ready to help restore power in the wake of the storm, according to the governor, as he warns local residents to be careful of downed power lines. Idalia is forecast to make landfall at the state's northern panhandle today. 28 of Florida's 67 counties are now under some form of evacuation order, mostly along the state's upper Gulf Coast. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority and the Ministry of Tourism and Transport.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
I'm Kenneth Bryan, Minister for Tourism and Ports, and I need your help to keep our beautiful islands clean. Littering is unsightly and negatively impacts our tourism industry, which is crucial to our economy. Keeping our islands clean is everyone's responsibility, so let's all work together to keep the Cayman Islands beautiful for generations to come.
Be a part of the solution, not the pollution. Littering is a crime punishable by a $500 fine or 6 months in prison. Brought to you by the Beautification Task Force and Ministry of Tourism and Ports.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. I have Lord Graham on the line. Lord Graham, if you're paying for your call, maybe you can give Ms. Susan a number and we reverse the call.
916-2550.
916-2550. Okay, we're going to call you and then, talk with you. Don't want you to have to absorb the cost because, we know how it goes these days with that. Meanwhile, while we're doing that, I'll talk about one of our phone carriers here in the Cayman Islands. Paid $80 for roaming services and stuff like that when last month and part of this month as well. 3 days, something like about 3 days before you could actually get it to work. I got to check and see whether or not we have paid our phone bill yet, because I was really planning on holding off on paying that $80 to them and saying, listen, we didn't really get the full service. And of course, if you don't use it, you lose it as well. And I want to, I'm not going to call the name of the company, but my $80 can't go down the drain like that, because I didn't really get use of the roaming services when you try to hook up with T-Mobile or whatever. And that didn't only happen to me, but it happened to other members in my group as well. And these 916-2550, and at least these companies, $80 is $80. I can't afford to do it. I'm a retired person on a person on a fixed income, as well, and $80 is a lot. So if I don't hold off on this bill payment, I'm going to certainly do it on the next one, because I didn't get my $80 worth. Neither did the other persons, in my group as well, and that is terrible service. And we need to talk about this. We need to talk about some of the services that 916-2550, 916, wrong number, Lord Graham. Yeah. Someone different answering that. Lord Graham, we're having problems getting back to you. Call us on 925-3261. What's up? 925-3261. We know that you don't have to pay for that, as well. But, we have all of these people on work permits here in the Cayman Islands, and sometimes you wonder whether or not some of these companies are doing it just to make up the numbers. Because you don't always get quality service. You don't always get quality service. How can you sometimes be assured of the qualifications of the persons that you're hiring when they're being referred to you by a friend or a family member who's really trying to look out for someone who needs to put bread on the table for their their families, their dependents, and so you can't blame them to a certain extent. But we need to start to look at the quality of service that we get here in the Cayman Islands, because in many cases it is shoddy. Again, I won't call the name of any company, but only a few days ago, I saw it. I saw it open up and create itself right in front of me, where a technician could not solve a particular problem. And it was quite obvious to me and other persons around me as lay persons that individual didn't know anything about what they were doing, but yet they have these huge contracts with different entities within the Cayman Islands, and the service that they provide is poor. I wanted to put something before that poor, but I can't say it on radio as well. So we, in many respects, we are being shortchanged. And like I said before, one of the telecommunications companies that offer you that roaming overseas, that offer that to you, you get gypped sometimes. And of course, when you get back home, if you haven't used it, you, to my knowledge, you don't get any credit. You can't use it any other how as well. I believe that we have reconnected with Lord Graham. So Lord Graham, you heard me. I hope you heard me talk about some of the other things that, the type of services that we're getting in the Cayman Islands. Sometimes they're poor. Some of these companies, you wonder whether or not they basically hire people just to make sure that they have the numbers there, because some of them, they claim that, I can't find a Caymanian to do it because it requires this qualification, it requires that qualification, and many of them come and they're feeling their way around as well.
Because, many of them their job is already tailored to them. You got to remember, most of those entities are run and operated by foreign people who also have a cousin or an aunt or uncle overseas who really doesn't have a job. You know, so it's very convenient for them to ask for all these funny qualifications, where that person can go online and get that qualification by printing themselves a certificate stating that they're qualified. I've seen that happen many times, especially in the tourism industry. I've seen that by people from New Zealand that I know that done that. But I'll say, as soon as you find out stuff like that, you know what bothers me now? I remember back in the day, me or you, if we had got information about something, we went out on the road, investigated, and found out whether it was true or not, and we bring the people in. Now, when I personally call the heads of, especially the immigration, their question to me is, how do I know? How do you know that? That's what they ask me. How do I? Well, see, I'm giving.
So they're placing the burden of proof on you.
Right. So, but going back, we'll see to what you were talking about with the $3,500 having to be made to have your kid on island. That I brought that up before at 2 different occasions on your radio, and I don't know how me, you, Dr. McField, John Thompson, Peter Thompson, the ex-fire officer from Killenbragg, and used to be Mr. Ackerman from West Bed on here lately, can identify and know about the issues that are happening. But the authorities, the politicians, the people that are being paid these big salaries, why is it that they don't know these things? You know?
Yeah.
So how long will it take us to implement and change certain things? I notice whenever there's other things you got to change that is convenient for the outsiders, it's very quickly implemented. Look, for example, the chickens and this what was it?
Iguana colony?
No, the chickens and cats. Yeah, and the iguana thing. That was very quickly implemented because that was affecting certain individuals. So how come you can get all that implemented so quickly? But the things that is convenient for us Caymanians, when I say Caymanians, you know what I mean. How come it takes us that long? It takes the authorities that long?
Well, Lord Graham, and getting back to this dependence thing, we have seen government just increase the stipend for the seamen and those persons who are receiving government assistance, right? Why? The reason that they had to do that was because of the cost of living in the Cayman Islands has increased. So if it has increased for us as Caymanians, hasn't it also increased for those persons who are here on work permits? So why shouldn't we now be reviewing what the amount that a person has to be making in terms of their salary in order for them to have dependents on the island? Now, I understand that everyone wants to have their children along with them, the whole idea of the family unit, but I also will agree that when people decide that they're going to come to work in the Cayman Islands, just to work, even though we know that that's not happening anymore. When a person comes here for a work permit, on a work permit, first of all, they're under the impression that they can stay here for 8 or 9 years, right? Some come with the idea that I'm not leaving, I'm going to become a Caymanian and I'm going to live here for the rest of my life. But we have seen the cost of living increase for everyone in the Cayman Islands. Then why aren't we adjusting that $3,500 to a higher amount? Why aren't we doing that? Because sometimes I wonder, you have a couple they have a young child, an infant child, a young child. Now, we know every Caymanian, if both of them, if you have a husband and wife and a child, and both of them are working, they have to have someone to take care of that child. So part of the questions that we should be asking the work permit holders, how is this child going to be taken care of? I have no doubt that, and even though I have no evidence to prove it, that some employers may be accommodating. Let's say, for instance, if both parties are working at the same establishment, then they schedule their hours in such a way that they don't conflict, so that one person can be at home with the child while the other person is working, and have their hours like that. That may be happening as well. But if Caymanians are finding it so difficult to live on their salaries, how is it that those persons who are relying on their $4.50 or whatever it is an hour plus tips, how can they have family members, dependents, sometimes two dependents, sometimes one dependent? How are they able to do it? Not to mention, and if you can stay on the line, we're going to take a commercial break, the type of pressures that we're going to be putting on the government schools as well, because we know that the private schools are not cheap. Folks, taking a break, please stay tuned. Please feel free to chime in if you want on the conversation. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
West Bay Pharmacy. Personalized medicine, customized care to meet your specific needs. Your body is unique to you. Your medicine should be too. Whether you're seeking individual specific medication, correct size dosages, or simply better tasting medicine, ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about how compounding at West Bay Pharmacy can increase your treatment options, not only for your family, but for your pets too. West Bay Pharmacy, open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sundays and most holidays from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Level up your back-to-school game with Digicel. Activate a Prime bundle or sign up for postpaid for a chance to win big. Win weekly prizes of $1,500 plus Winner Circle and office supply gift vouchers, plus the grand prize of $5,000 for your school of choice and a MacBook just for you. Stay connected with Digicel and let's make this school year unforgettable. Terms and conditions apply. Visit Digicel.com for more details. Digicel, better connected.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Pure and cleaner.
Get 7% off at prepaid orders, $20 or more, using the most popular eco-friendly cleaning solvents. We also offer drapery works, bulk laundry to hotel and condos with free pickup and delivery. Visit us at Savannah Countryside or Eastern Avenue drive-thru, rain or shine. Call 949-7104. That's 949-7104. Puritan Cleaners. You feel good when you look good.
From Saturday, August 26th through Saturday, September 2nd, Tomlinson Furniture is having a massive anniversary sale on everything in store.
Living room and bedroom set, outdoor furniture, dining and coffee tables, home office desks and chairs, decor, mattresses, and more. All up to 50% off. See an item you like, save an additional 20% off the lowest sale price for savings up to 50% off store-wide. Register to win a $500 shopping spree with each purchase and receive a free gift with each purchase over $100. Shop and save up to 50% store-wide during Tomlinson Furniture's 48th anniversary sale. Sale ends this Saturday. Visit our showroom at the first and second floor of the Tomlinson Building, corner of Hospital and Walkers Road.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. I believe Lord Graham is still on the line.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I've been doing a lot of talking, but just a couple of questions for you. Has your electricity bill gone up over the months?
Do you realize a lot of the people that come here to work, come here from different countries where they were not allowed to have their kids with them, right? It's after they come here and see the system and have been notified that they can mama guy our system, then they insist on having their kid here. But other places that they were working before, they couldn't.
Like the Middle East, we can talk about the region. We don't have to name countries in the Middle East.
And not only that, try and identify how many couples that have come here to work, to make a living, that have ended up getting pregnant and having kids here and then refusing to have them sent back home because they don't want to split up the unit. But yet you can
we understand that sentiment, but we have to look at both sides of the coin. We have to look at their side, but we have to look at the impacts that it's having on our island as well.
There's a school right now that my son trying to get my grandchild into, that their capacity is 80, and he cannot get him in because they're full capacity, and he was offered to have his kid put on their waiting list. But the waiting list is 400.
Wow.
And you pay that deposit that are not refundable. You might not even get your kid in because it's a 400 people on standby, on waiting list. So you see the kind of strain that are being put on the system, like you say, and it inconvenient a lot of Caymanians.
So we may have to soon open a school for Caymanian children only?
That's what we need to do, and taught by Caymanians only. So I don't know if you can rack up enough cash for us to do that, because there's a lot of people out there looking for space for their kid in school, but they just can't find it because everything is full to capacity.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I also wanted to touch on the call you were talking about, cost of living.
Yeah, and my question to you is: has your electricity bill gone up?
Oh yeah.
When you go to the supermarket, don't you get have less shopping bags now for the same amount or maybe even more that you're spending?
Oh, see, I
phone bill isn't that up?
I spent $100
water bill
the other day, and there was nothing in the basket that I could eat. The only thing that could be edible with dog food. I have I don't know. I was thinking about that too.
So if it's so strenuous for Caymanians, why isn't it strenuous for those persons who, in some instances, are only making the minimum wage plus their gratuities, the tips that are received as well? How are they able to do so? And at the same time also remit funds back to their home country as well. How can they do it?
Right. No, but we'll see. I'm hearing they had gathering to discuss
minimum wage.
Minimum wage.
Yeah.
But I was told by someone who's a very good friend to a person with a supermarket that said, "Well, we're not too against you raising the minimum wage, but they got to reflect on our prices too. We got raised too. So I don't know if it's going to be wise to even move the minimum wage because you got to end up doing the same thing."
Well, I have heard, I have no evidence of it, but I have heard that one particular entity that's in the retail business in the Cayman Islands, their salaries now are way beyond the legally required minimum wage. So some of them, are beyond that. So maybe not everyone will take that approach. But and we see here where tonight the minimum wage committee is having a meeting. But or this afternoon, sorry, 1 to 2, and I think Radio Cayman is going to be carrying it live as well in CIG TV. But one comment that I received from one of my listeners is that the question is how many Caymanians are really making the minimum wage now? So are we really discussing this for Caymanians, or are we doing it for those persons who are on work permits?
Well, see, a lot of the people that are on work permit are below the minimum wage. I don't know if you know that. And they're being told things like, oh, you'll make it up in tips. But they're being paid below the minimum wage. And because they do need their job, they go along with the $3.50 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
But, I do know of people who are making below the minimum wage. And I know individuals who was paying more before the minimum wage came into effect, and then they went down to the minimum of $6.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, you just said there's people that are beyond the minimum, but there's also people that was doing that before that was paying more, but now because they're protected by law, they have gone down to the $6.
But if those individuals had legally binding contractual agreements with those, they shouldn't be able to do that. I guess that would be for those who are loosely employed.
Yeah, loosely employed. They who happen to get a work permit, and they really all they want to know is that the work permit was approved to start working. They don't worried about half of them don't even worried about insurance and pension and the like. They just wants to know that their work permit is approved and they can be on island.
Saw a story in I think it was Loop yesterday, talking about the fact that there was one business establishment that was in court, and it seems as if some other entity or individual was able to use their company and to fraudulently obtain work permits, something like about 10 work permits for persons. You familiar with that case or with that situation?
Yeah, I think that individual was pulled in and was charged an administration fee, and now that individual, because there was a Caymanian actually fronting for someone, I understand, and now that individual, the foreign individual, still on island and are allowed now to apply for another work permit. I don't know if you work outside of your agreement, your work permit agreement, and then you are charged. You're definitely been charged, and wouldn't say convicted, but you've been fined, and then you're still allowed to carry on business in the Cayman Islands. But on a quick note, before I forget this one,
okay.
Flo was fined, I understand, for
400,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So that means they're guilty. So are we going to be giving back the money that we were charged?
Well, yeah, that question was asked before, but someone suggested that they should pay that fine, have to pay that fine of $400,000, and at the same time, in addition to the $400,000, remit to those customers who were charged more. They should refund the money to them in addition to the fine as well, rather than taking the that amount from the $400,000 and giving it back to customers.
Yeah, right. So I wonder if our legal people in the government or elected people would be on that same level or looking to that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, because we need to be. If we were overcharged, we definitely need to be reimbursed or credited.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know,
we can't just let it go like that. You know,
it has proven that we have been ripped off.
Mm.
You know, not something I'm saying, and we will fight for it. And if it wasn't the case, then they should appeal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But if it was the Cayman Islands government, and we had the government had been found to have been in a way shortchanging other people, some law firm would have taken it upon themselves to sue the Cayman Islands government on behalf of non-Caymanians in that respect, I bet you.
Yeah, they would have done that very quickly.
Okay, Lord Graham, I want to thank you. Thank you for spending, some time, with me. Tell your friend, his seat in around the table here might be threatened. You did such a good job this morning. Only kidding.
All right, okay.
All right, take care. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
So much happening so fast, too much. It is hard for me to follow my health care instructions. The private counseling with West Bay Pharmacy literally saved my life.
At West Bay Pharmacy, we know how complex medications can be. Our pharmacists are delighted to offer you personalized one-on-one healthcare counseling, free medication review, therapeutic callbacks, and we will liaise with your physician to ensure you receive the best in quality medical care.
Quality of life has a whole new meaning with the right pharmacy to support you. Thank you, West Bay Pharmacy.
West Bay Pharmacy in Centennial Towers. Convenient quality care is just around the corner. Now you can WhatsApp your West Bay Pharmacy prescriptions to 516-0777.
Stop kicking that old washer or dryer and stressing out. Brand Source Home Gallery is having an August laundry sale. Save up to 15% on all brands. That's right, save up to 15% on GE, Samsung, LG, Beko, Frigidaire, Electrolux, and even heavy-duty commercial washers and dryers, both gas and electric. Shop Brand Source Home Gallery in August and find the island's largest selection of washers and dryers and save during the August laundry sale. Visit Brand Source Home Gallery on Dorsey Drive in Industrial Park or call 623-5000.
You know, as a little girl, I dreamt of traveling to faraway places and foreign lands. I tell you what though, no more dreaming. This summer, I'm going flying with Cayman Airways. How blessed are we in the Cayman Islands to have a very own national airline? Girl, you can fly to so many international destinations without the hassle of connecting flights. On top of Jamaica, Cuba, and Honduras, you got non-stop flights from Cayman to New York, Miami, Tampa, and even Denver, Los Angeles, and now Panama. Going to be a little cafe con leche and Hollywood Squares for this old gal this summer.
Make your travel dreams come true with Cayman Airways, offering non-stop flights for non-stop adventures in Panama, LA, and many more places in between. For details and to book, call 949-2311, contact a travel agent, or visit CaymanAirways.com.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. We will get intermittent calls on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's the 1-800 number. 1-800-534-8255 works sometimes, but 949-6990 is the number that you may want to call if you wish to get through as well. We have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. And we need you to turn your radio down, please, caller. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. Caller, can you please turn your radio down? And good morning. Welcome to For the Record, or turn it off. Caller. Ms. Susan, that's not working. That's not working at all. Yeah. They're not in sync with us, at this point in time. Yeah, let's try the caller one more time. Caller, first we're asking you, please please turn your radio off. If you have done that, now, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. We give up on that. We give up on that, Miss Susan. So, we're going to look at our Tradewinds newspaper and see what has been happening in the past here in the beautiful Cayman Islands, because as much as we may complain, it is still beautiful, but we still have to continue to do our part to make it remain beautiful and also to ensure that it remains in the hands of Caymanians or in control to the extent that the United Kingdom has given us, that control as well. Oh, yeah, that gives me an opportunity to share with you that the Bermuda government had identified a representative, person to represent them in the Middle East. And they have now received approval from the United Kingdom to be able to have someone represent them in the Middle East. Why is that? That is because Bermuda is a British overseas territory, still belongs to the United Kingdom. Certain powers are reserved, responsibilities are reserved for the United Kingdom, but they can issue what is called letters of entrustment, meaning that they trust you to be able to do certain things that they would normally do. So we spoke about establishing offices in Brussels, in Hong Kong, and somewhere else. Of course, we would have had to go through that same process as well to be able to do that. Just to share with you that Bermuda now will have an individual representing them in the Middle East. Salary is pretty good too, $20,000 per month, and that was an appointment that was made by the Premier of of Bermuda as well. So, folks, we talk about road accidents in the Cayman Islands, and we see them every day. As a matter of fact, yesterday on one social media group, there was an accident near the Grand Harbor roundabout, and not too long after that, there was a 3-car accident on Linford-Pearson Highway heading east. But we had our share of them in the 1960s as well. So in this article in the Tradewinds newspaper on the 31st of August, 1967, Miss Ardith Smith wrote an article about accidents that haunt the roads of Grand Cayman. And I'll share this article with you. And some of those accidents, this one was a Chevrolet motor car owned and driven by Reverend Lewin Williams, left the West Bay Road south of Bel Air Cottages at 1:30 p.m. Car was extensively damaged, but the minister was uninjured. And then we had another situation where a man parked his car on his Ford car in the vicinity of Caribbean Club, facing Georgetown. A Pontiac station wagon hit the parked car and continued on from the scene. So we even had hit and runs in 1967. Then it talks about at the same time Mercury, driven by someone else, ran off the road into the Ross's property, Casa Caribe, to avoid collision with a Pontiac that was severely damaged. Then we had people being hospitalized as well. Then we had an accident, a Volkswagen driven by a foreigner, overturned along West Bay Road in the area known as Times Point, which is north of the Sand Hole. How many of you West Bayers remember an area in West Bay called Times Point? And they say that it was located to the north of the Sand Hole in West Bay. And the police, while they were traveling to investigate that accident, they were also attracted by lights in the bush next to Mr. Lawrence Thompson's farm. And investigating, they found a Pontiac Tempest with 4 wheels in the air. And that vehicle had another person who was injured in it. I'm not calling names because some of these persons, have passed on and everything else. And while this was public knowledge, I'm not giving names here. Then while that mercury was being removed from Casa Caribe, a asphaltic truck driven by someone stopped about 50 feet south of the area, and there was an accident as well. So we had our share of accidents in the 1960s, in this particular case, 1967 as well. Our roads were certainly not as good as they are today. Many of our roads in those days were not even asphalt roads as well, but we certainly had our share of accidents. Then in that particular publication of the Trade Winds newspaper as well, there was an article about a Caymanian being repatriated from Cuba, and the headline there was, she was Castro's prisoner, but now she's back home as well. A big story there, and a picture of the first Caymanian to be released from Cuba, who arrived on August the 16th, 1967, and she was pictured with her relatives in that as well. I'm told that we have a caller, but Miss Susan, why don't we take the last commercial break, and then we will take the caller. Don't hang up. Stay on the line. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we return, we will hear from you. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
This is it, Cayman, the last week of the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. If you have been chosen for the survey, please complete Step 3 by September 3rd. Your participation is essential for the future of our nation. Help us shape Cayman's healthcare services and say yes to Step 3. To book your appointment or for more information, call 936-4969.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
From big to better,
Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Cayman Islands is now 1-to-1. We may have a fresh new name and look, but we're as dedicated as ever to developing transformative connections between mentors and young people here in Cayman. We're set to ignite futures and encourage personal growth while creating lasting impacts. Join us on this exciting journey and get involved with 1-to-1 today. Go to 1to1.ky to learn more. 1-to-1 is proudly sponsored by Radio Cayman. 1-to-1, empowering youth, igniting futures.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. Ms. Susan, I believe someone was giving you some information. We would, if they could WhatsApp that to us, we'd certainly appreciate it. London House, I think, yeah. Okay, let's grab the caller first and then we can talk about that. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Connor. How are you, sir?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah.
Glad we were finally able to connect.
Oh, see, you know, history is something very interesting. I was reading, I think it's the trade wind, not the Northwest, the trade wind, that in the early years where Shaden Road, where your parents' house was, where you grew up and where my grandmother's place was, it said that the governor at that time that was doing that road going up to the airport, they had to get permission from my grandfather, which was named the same as my father, which is named the same as I am, and your father had to give the government permission to build that road there, and you know,
well, to widen it.
Pardon?
To widen the road, yes.
No, I didn't read.
Well, I wasn't alive when it was the road was initially built. That was built by Shaden Sanguinetti.
But it was saying that your father and my grandfather had to give them
permission.
Okay. Yeah, you know, to build and look at what it's become today. Because you got to remember now, in the 30s and in the 40s, that road there, that same Shaden Road today was, I understand, from my father, was just a bicycle track. Although the houses were built there, my grandmother's house was built there, and your parents, your father were building that house there at the same time. And I think it's in the Northwest, you know, or the trade winds, one of the two of them. It would be good if you can look it up somewhere there because it's in there. I had it and I don't know where I put it, but history is something to really to think about. And also it's the Cayman history book there. It was written by an Englishman, Neville something, that tells the true story of how the houses and the roads were built in the time. It's a red cover book, you know. But you can check it out if you can find it. It's either the Trade Winds or the Northwest newspaper, you know. And look at what Shaden Road is today. One of the mean roads on the island, you know.
Yeah, it is. I tell you what, the width of it hasn't changed a whole lot. You know, between that time, you know, simply because so many structures were built so close to the road that the widening of Shaden Road was practically impossible unless persons were relocated. Now, if we're living in the times that we are living today in where there's such a demand for wider roads and everything else, I have no doubt that, you know, we would have seen some of those houses demolished to widen the road. I remember my father, when the road, and those are the days when the late Mike Simmons used to operate the grader and the bulldozers and stuff like that, that when they were doing the road there, this was at the same time or just after they were, while they were doing the airport, and the road was was only about maybe less, probably about 3 feet or so from the corner of our porch. And my father saying, if they come to put that road any closer there, I'm going to be out there with my machete. And they're going to have to deal with me because I'm not allowing them to take any more of my land and put my house out in the middle, of the road. But Shaden Road hasn't gotten much wider than it was, simply because of so many structures being close by the road, because that was the way that people built their houses those days. Everyone built as close to the road as possible.
You remember Mr. Reggie Bakery, Ophie?
Yeah, Reginald Bernard, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Where Case Fabric and up there. But,
that was called, he had a, what was called an open hearth oven made out of the red bricks.
Yeah, and what you're saying is true, because I remember your house, the porch, that was right on the edge of the road.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right on the edge of the road. You had to be careful when you go on that porch, because in them days they didn't have no traffic anyhow. So I guess that's what it was all about. But history is really something to think about, because look at where Shaden Road is today, and and how it was back then. But they had to get permission from my grandfather and your father to. You said it was to widen it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No problem. Thank you.
Okay. I want to thank that caller as well. We have about 8 minutes left. So Miss Susan, the it was called Tim's Point, TIMS Point. That's what the article speaks to. What did the caller tell you? Timmins. Okay. They had it in here as Tim's Point, which was north of the sand hole. Well, how many of you remember the sand hole that we had on the waterfront? Right in front of Emsley Memorial Church. And Mr. Buller Thompson, we call him Mr. Buller. His name would have been Wilbur Thompson. That would be Bing Thompson, Joellen Thompson, and their father. And then you had the school right on the other side, and the sand hole was in the middle. I remember we used to have campfires there for Cubs and Scouts. But when you had a good northwester as well, the sand hole would fill up, and that was a natural swimming pool for us in Georgetown as well. Of course, that sand hole is gone now. That's where part of our port is located now as well. But we had a sand hole in Georgetown as well. How many of you remember that? I was looking at a video just a few days ago, and Mr. Renford Barnes was, talking about his days and his exploit, ringing the bell at the Emsley Memorial Church, which was those days we simply called it the Presbyterian Church. Mr. Heber Arch was also involved in that discussion, and the late Mr. Bernard Watler, was also talking as well. And I also saw this video where he was given a history of, I think Sandra Hill interviewed him when the little cemetery there in front of Grand Harbor, when that was being dealt with, and he was giving the story about his uncle, Mr. Winston Watler, and his wife, Miss Dora, as well. And that one brought back memories to me. I remember, and I won't call names, but Fridays, remember, school, you would have school half day on Fridays in the Cayman Islands. At one point in time, school let out for half day on a Friday. And friends of ours, one prominent family who were quite well known for their creative prowess. They were good carpenters, good seamen as well, and myself and others like Allison Whitaker, we would go with the sons of that family and go and dive conchs in Red Bay on a Friday evening or Friday afternoon. And at that time, Mr. Winston Watler was no longer living there where the original house was. He had then moved down to Crew Road. And, that coconut tree up until a few years ago was still there. I don't know if it's there now. I don't believe it is. I'll take a look when I'm crossing there again. But there was a coconut tree there that was always loaded with coconuts. And, of course, we would either pull the boat in and go in there, cut a huge limb of coconuts, take them out in the boat with us so that we would have coconut water to drink. I can tell that tale now, but that was something that we did on Fridays whenever we were going to dive conchs or go fishing as well. And like I said, not calling any names, but a very prominent family on Elgin Avenue. That family known for their skills as far as carpentry, and fishing and mechanical work as well. Christmas time, playing cowboys and Indians, they would have the what was called a ranch. They would have a largest ranch, some 2-story ranch and things of that nature right there on Elgin Avenue. So, but listening to Mr. Bernard Watler talk about his family, the late Mr. Winston Watler, one of his uncles who lived in that area before they moved in, and he spoke about the fact that when the house was moved, it was moved in sections. It was moved in sections down to Crew Road, right opposite Mr. Ben Ross's house, and I believe there's some restaurant that's located there now, but I'm not sure. That somebody says that my memory sounds like an old school teacher. Comes near to Dr. Steve McFeel. I'm not anywhere close to Dr. Steve in terms of the memory and the knowledge that he has in terms of his experiences, as well. But it is good to see that we are preserving our history. At least we're doing it orally, but we can do it even more than orally now because we can also do it visually, with the advent of the cell phone and, being able to record. And we're certainly grateful for those persons who embark upon that. We know that the National Archives have done the same as well. We have to chronicle our history simply because as we see, even, as we speak, we're losing more and more of it. And if we don't chronicle it, there's going to be some point in time when there's not going to be anyone left who can give you a first-hand account of what may have occurred in the Cayman Islands. Okay, this person... hopefully someone from Lands and Survey Department still listening. A person said that they weren't able to listen to much of the Lands and Survey discussion. They're inquiring as to whether if they have extended the waiver of the land registry fee regarding change of postal address. Also, when is the customer Appreciation Day, and where is it being held? Well, the Customer Appreciation Day is tomorrow from 10 o'clock until 3 in the Government Administration Building. They are looking towards asking the Cabinet to continue to extend that period because they have seen so much success in terms of people taking advantage of the opportunity to update their details on the registry, so that, for instance, if you have changed your postal address, if you have changed your physical address, if you have changed your name or whatever, that you can have that properly recorded on there. They're asking whether or not they're going to look into, whether or not the Cabinet will agree to extend that period. I don't believe that it's going to, if their government chooses to do that, that's going to put any huge dent into the government's coffers or affect government's budget in any way at all. So hopefully that will be done. So yes, the Customer Appreciation Day tomorrow at the Government Administration Building. There will be prizes and surprises as well. Between 10 and 3 tomorrow at midday, they're going to have a steel band as well. So if you get the opportunity, please go there and engage with them as well. And do not forget the virtual town hall meeting that is taking place about the minimum wage. That's at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., carried by CIG TV, Radio Cayman as well. And of course, you can follow us on Facebook as well. Just want to find this message before we go. Someone and the steel band will be for 1 hour only as well. Okay, folks, so I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. John Sterling, Dweeny Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And by the Steps 2023.